Hi, I'm Nico Whiteman from Zambia, and here I'm highlighting a genus of plants in the Asparagaceae family. These are Lederbouria. Now, Lederbouria was formerly in the Hyacinthaceae family, but botanists and all that kind of stuff didn't get rearranged. What I want to do is highlight the kind of variety and diversity that exists within this genus just here in Zambia. So all of these pots on the ledge of this raised bed have been collected in Zambia by myself and show kind of a nice different variation that this genus holds. Lederbouria are not the easiest species to be able to tell apart. But they are quite different. So here we have one with very narrow almost grass-like leaves. And I should actually mention that Lederbouria is very small flowered. You can see the tiny little flowers here, usually in greens and whites or browns. And mainly actually it's kind of grown for the leaves, which have this kind of lovely modeling pattern. Some degrees being much more heavily modeled than others. But yeah, this is a collection that has these very narrow grass-like leaves. And here is quite a small little species with this nice dark modeling, purplish kind of undersides to the leaf, if you can see that. Then we've got slightly broader leafed with no modeling on the upper surface of the leaf, but the lower surface has this lovely striping on it actually. And a variety which is reminiscent of Lederbouria revoluta, with quite a bit of modeling on these fairly thick succulent leaves. Another collection, this came from northern Zambia. Again, quite nice modeling on these kinds of leaves. Just come through and to see the differences that exist on some of them. Now these are all early flowering plants. They put up their leaves very early, or their flowers, sorry, very early in the season, and then the leaves generally tend to follow afterwards. Some with no modeling or very light modeling on the leaves at all. Here we've got a very diminutive species, again, no modeling on the upper surface and slight striping on the back of the surface, but very floriferous. There's many flower stalks per plant on this one. This, again, looks to be Lederbouria revoluta. Slightly larger flowers on these, more of the white tinge to them. And then another recent collection that I made, this one here with these lovely banding patterns on the upper surface of the leaves and the back surface of the leaf. Very lovely patternings to some of these, which make them more interesting to grow, whereas the flowers don't give you very much, but the leaves do reward you with this kind of lovely patterns. So here we have a Lederbouria species in the garden, and as you can see, it's actually quite happy. It's spread quite a bit. Still got its flowers coming up here, so new flower stalks are produced over the course of several weeks, if not to about a month actually. And some of these longer ones now, with all these seed capsules starting to develop, have been shooting since end of September, early October. So it does have quite a long flowering period. But the leaves, with that rain that we got last week, have now really started to come out. And this is the reason that I really grow this one. Just these lovely spotted leaves give interest all throughout the growing season, while the flowers will fade in another few weeks, if not about a month or so. But it will spread from seed, so all these seeds will fall, and then they don't all germinate, thankfully, or else it might be a bit of a Lederbouria mess here. You'll get self-seeding, but then also around individual clumps of plants, the bulb itself will put out offsets, and you'll get that clump slowly starting to bulk up. So that's what's happened with these clumps here, where I have planted individual bulbs or small groups of bulbs, and now they have grown considerably in size from that. But then also here, you'll see plants starting to spread out from the main clump, where seed has fallen and then germinated and got itself established and growing quite well. Now, Lederbouria are quite easy to grow in pots. So if you don't have space within the garden, or you don't have the conditions to grow these properly in the garden, they can easily be grown in pots and enjoyed during the rainy season when the growth would normally happen. You got to be sure then when the rains end that you give them a dry dormancy period so that they will be ready to spring into growth again when the rains return. So here we have another Lederbouria species. This one doesn't produce any spots on the leaves, but the undersides have a bit of a purplish kind of tinge. Now, all the Lederbourias that we have in Zambia are actually quite easy to grow in pots as well. So if one wanted to grow these as an indoor plant, you can do that because they usually come from more shady environments, so can lend themselves to be grown indoors. Not in the deepest of shade indoors, but in a fairly kind of bright, well aerated area where they should be quite happy. The Lederbourias, if you are growing them in pots, can be watered all year, and they should remain green all year, but I do not know if that's going to have an effect on then the plant's ability to flower properly and set seed. It might mess with the growth cycle of the plant, but it should remain green even during our dry season.